Hello and welcome to cheapsheds.com. Today I'll show you how to build a shed floor using my gable roof shed plans available on my website at www.cheapsheds.com. If you live in an exceptionally wet area or have a major termite problem, you might want to use pressure-treated wood for the entire floor, including the skids, the floor joists, and the plywood sheeting. This will add to the initial cost of your shed, but it might also save you money in the long run because a floor built with pressure-treated lumber will last longer in these situations. Get the number of floor joists you will need from Table 3 and the cut length for the band boards and the floor joists and the skid spacing from Table 2. Cut your band boards and floor joists and lay the band boards out for 16 inches on center, and drill 2 pilot holes for each 2x4 joist or 3 holes for each 2x6 joist. If you're building an 8 wide and using 2x4 by 92 and 5/8 inch pre-cuts, then you can use them here without any cutting. They will be 3/8 inch short, but this will be split in half to 3/16 on either side when you cover the floor with plywood. You'll save a few dollars here over using 2x4 by 8s, and no one will be the wiser. All 10 and 12 wide sheds use 2x6 joists, so you have to cut them to length. Lay the joists out on top of the pressure-treated skids and space them about 16 inches apart. Attach the band boards to the joists with 2 to 3 3-inch screws or 16D nails at each joint. Position each skid as per measurement D from Table 2. Then drill pilot holes and toe-nail both sides of each floor joist to the skids with 3-inch screws or 16D nails, except the front and rear joists. Leave these two joists free so you can manipulate them to match the outside edge of the plywood sheeting as you nail it on. Check the square by pulling a tape measure and comparing diagonal measurements across the floor. Slide a skid back or forth until the measurements are equal. When the measurements are equal, the floor is square. Now that the floor frame is finished and you will not be knocking it around anymore, it's time to level it. Level across the front, middle, and back and along both sides with a builder's level. Add or remove a little dirt or gravel under the skids until the floor is level. If necessary, place concrete blocks every 48 inches under each skid. Add blocks or wedges between the blocks and the skids until the floor is level in all directions. Recheck the square by checking the diagonal measurement again. Any extra effort you spend carefully leveling the floor now will pay off later when you start sheeting the roof. If the floor is not level, the roof sheeting will not fit and you will have to re-level again at that time. If you want to attach tie-downs to the floor of your shed, do it now. Attach them to the floor joists rather than the skids for an extra measure of security. Lay your best sheet of plywood along the front of the floor frame. Square it up to the front edge and corners and nail along the front edge. Check the edges for square along the side and nail every 8 inches with 8D nails. Repeat with the second and the third sheet, putting the worst sheet at the back of the floor. If you're using regular 3/4 inch plywood as opposed to tongue and groove, you should provide some extra support where the full pieces of plywood meet the cut pieces. To make these blocks, cut 12 inches off the ends of some of the 2x4s that you'll be using for studs. You will need one less than the number of floor joists you have. These blocks will fit loosely, but that's okay. Attach them to the underside of the plywood joint with 3 or 4 2-inch screws. Leave about half of the block exposed. After you nail the smaller piece of plywood in place, then put screws on the other side of the joint to match. Snap a chalk line across the floor every 16 inches using the screw heads on the band boards as a guide. Nail the center of your sheeting along the chalk lines every 8 inches. Toenail the front and rear joists to the skids. You have finished the floor. Thanks for watching my video on how to build a shed floor. To see the rest of my shed building videos, go to my website at www.cheapsheds.com.